Well, there were epiphanies and they keep happening. That's it. I didn't think like this is my passion. I'm just going to go and, ace it.
Hello and welcome to my show, Find Your Passion, Change Your Life. Today I have a very special guest. He is the national finalist in the Toastmasters International Competition of England, and he is a tech and real estate entrepreneur. He has been a VJ, he has presented himself on BBC. He is the man who has donned so many hats: a radio presenter, a TV commentator, and a financial analyst. So please help me welcome my dynamic, extraordinary, and one of the most humble friend, Ajay Mathur. Over to you, Ajay.
Thanks for having me. Just to correct you a little bit, uh, I did documentaries which were played on BBC. So I was not directly on the TV for BBC, but I've done other TV stuff. So yeah.
Great, great. So you have been a part of BBC in some form. That's a matter of pride. And I am so excited to know your whole journey because I went through your LinkedIn profile and it really intrigued me that the kind of things that you have written on your LinkedIn profile. You have been on TV, you have been on radio, you have your own YouTube channel where you have or you have interviewed the who's who of the industry, people like Scott H.Young, who have written books like Ultra Learning. So, was Ajay always this sort of passionate, ambitious, and multitasking guy who wanted to make it big in life? Or was it some epiphany or somebody who inspired him to become this Ajay that he is today? Over to you.
Well, there were epiphanies and they keep happening every now and then. And talking about passion, I don't agree with a lot of things that people talk about passion. Find your passion and follow it and do stuff with it. I have a different take on it. We can go in detail if you want later. But just to give you a gist of my journey, my LinkedIn profile, by the way, is very short. It's just 3 lines. I've written it with commas, all of these professions I had, and I've just updated it very recently because I thought it's important now. But I got to do all of these different kind of works just because they came and I tried to experiment with them. I always had this liking towards talking in some way or form. Just to give you an example of when it started, if I think in my childhood, I once went to, Agra, right? Taj
Yeah,
Mahal.
yeah.
So I went there with my family and I was, I think, around 6 years of age.
Okay.
And I met a girl who was a nurse and she was from France.
Okay.
Now, she was not a good English speaker.
Okay.
I was not a good, forget about English, I was not even a good Hindi speaker. Well, Hindi is the mother tongue in India, but I come from a very small town where Brij Bhasha is the mother tongue.
Okay.
So, but I really wanted to interact with her. So I just went and I started talking to her, and I don't remember what did I speak to her. She was smoking at that point, and I just made a comment about smoking. I was very little.
Yeah.
She was, I think, around 40 years of age or something. And we started talking, and I really enjoyed it. Even though she was talking very broken English, I knew some words in English, and we were trying to interact. But it was a very good memory, and I still remember that event very vividly. To where it started, we started talking at the bus stop, and I had my family and we traveled together, and then she got down at a place, etc. So the memories are so vivid, and I still remember it as a good memory.
Wow.
Right? So that kind of, if I think back, and after that I didn't think, this is something that I should follow as a passion or something, talking to people, talking to a larger group of people, for example. I didn't think about it, it just happened. And with regards to my Toastmaster journey, it's very small, very short. I just started it 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And there was no plan. We just had a speaking event going on in my bank where I was working in 2018. I just took part, I gave a speech, people seemed to have liked it, and I did again in the same event on another week. And I kind of enjoyed it again. I was like, you know what, let's do it more often. And then I joined these clubs where you can go and talk. And and then they had some competition coming, so I thought, okay, fine, let's take part in it. I did take part in. I had to be eligible in order to go in the competition, and the eligibility is you have to give 7 speeches,
Yeah.
and the date of the competition start was only, I think, around a month away, and then I did 7 speeches in a month. So I was kind of really onto it, and I really loved that experience. It was very uncomfortable for me to come on stage and talk to people.
Yeah.
I've done behind the
Yeah.
scene, like on a radio.
Yeah.
You can talk, but nobody's
Yeah.
watching you, right? So you can do anything. So this was a little bit uncomfortable, coming in front of like 150 people and talking to them, because they're watching all of your
Yeah.
body movement and
Yeah.
stuff, right? But
So
overall, I got very good feedback. People loved it. People gave very positive feedback to improve it, and I see that it has improved quite a lot. So that's kind of, in short, the journey.
okay.
And all other things that you talked about, my radio gig, it just happened. I was listening to a radio, and they were talking about they need somebody. I applied, and I got through.
Wow.
And I worked there for 2 years. I did interview with a lot of Bollywood stars, Indian
Wow.
cinema people. They include Suresh Wadekar, Anil Kapoor, and all. So it was a good experience. I did interview there, and then I did some commentary for football in Premier League, which also just came out of somebody's recommendation. It was a good
Okay.
experience. I enjoyed it, and that's it. I didn't think like this is my passion. I'm just gonna go and ace it. There was nothing like that. It just happened, and I just took action at the right time.
Wow. That's fascinating. That's fascinating because, I thought that, you're this ambitious person who always had all these dreams of, doing so many things. And now as you told that it was just, everything came at the right time, at the right place, and you kept experimenting. I think, that's what your journey is like.